In Arizona, there are strict laws governing political signs, even criminal penalties for people who mess with them. So when these signs for a slate of Scottsdale Unified School Board candidates started going up around July 22nd, it looked like a clear violation to their opponents.
People are contributing money to these campaigns. Voters are going to go out and vote. And so it has to be an equal playing field.
To Jill Dunnican and supporters of the competing Republican slate, it looked like these Democrat signs were up way too early. So they complained. An email showed the city initially agreed, removing one sign. Then the city abruptly changed course, and an employee told them they would not be removing signs after all.
You know, you're caught off guard, and the other team is getting visibility and name recognition. Allowing teams to operate under different rules is clearly election interference.
Democratic candidates Mike Sharkey, Donna Lewis, and Matt Patinsky did not respond to a request for comment. Arizona law says people can start putting up political signs 71 days before a primary election, as long as the signs are for a candidate for public office. This race, however, is unusual. Scottsdale School Board wasn't on the primary election at all, only the November general election. 71 days before that is August 26th. An email shows Scottsdale code enforcement initially told the conservatives sign placements cannot occur prior to August 26th. That turned out to be bad information, and it's forced the Republican candidates to scramble. Dunnican says they started putting out their signs last night, about 2 weeks behind.
The team of Jacobs, Beasley, and Hassler, who followed the city rules, who respect the citizens and the election process, were penalized because they were not informed of the city of Scottsdale's selective enforcement of rules this year.
Now, a spokesperson for the city gave us a statement explaining their position on the state's sign law, and it makes clear that the Democrats acted within the legal window. The statement also acknowledges the city changed its enforcement position on signs, but it does not address why, if it was because of confusion or a mistake or a reinterpretation of the rules. Jared?
All right.